Yeah.
All right, here we are. And 11th chapter, as I mentioned, is Vishvarupa Darshana, the seeing of the universal form. And what I wanted to say is it is the most sacred and the most um, worshipped chapter of the Gita. Everybody quotes from it, from this Vishvarupa Darshana, when Arjuna sees the divine in all the forms. And it is put into 11th chapter in the middle of the Gita, and it's considered to be the crown. And it is a part of Bhakti Yoga, as you notice. Bhakti Yoga has chapters from chapter 7 to chapter 12. So 11th chapter is basically that crown. Many scholars were wondering why the Bhakti Yoga is put into the middle of the Gita, if it is a crown knowledge of the Gita, not at the end, to be a crown that at the end would be more logical, yes? So you move towards the end, and at the end you get the highest revelation from which you start acting. But in the Gita, the highest revelation is in the middle, and then after that, we have the whole section of 6 chapters of Jnana Yoga. And that was misunderstood by many Western scholars. They can't really figure out why the revelation is in the middle of the text. So, but there is a reason for it, definitely, that Karma Yoga starts the section, then Jnana Yoga concludes the effort, so to say, and Bhakti Yoga is in the middle, as our body is built. Yeah? It's a location of earth, space in between, and heaven. Though heaven is there, that is not the last step. It is the second step in the sacrifice. The last step is the third chapter, the third section, which is in the middle, because it unites heaven and earth. It will be the result of this sacrificial action. And that's why Sri Aurobindo in the Essays on the Gita says that the first step is Karma Yoga, the effort to realize oneself. The second step is Jnana Yoga, which is the last section in the Gita. And the third is when the smoke of heaven from Karma Yoga goes to heaven, realizes one's own unborn self, answers down to earth. And this answering down, the descent as it were, is the Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is the love for the divine, is the crown of the connection of heaven and earth, of our will, of our body, and our self-realization, our soul. And then we can love the divine. We cannot love the divine before, really. We can have feelings, we can have some sentiments, but real love comes from knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of love, because once you know who the divine is, you can love the divine. You cannot love before. Even those who feel love for the divine, they have some glimpse of the divine. They have some realization. So, and that is quite interesting, because that was my major objection to what is happening among, for example, Krishnaites. We have this Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, people who preach bhakti as the way to the divine, but themselves they do not know the divine. Themselves they didn't realize much, even didn't make much effort in karma sense. So how can you really come straight to love of the divine if you don't have any idea or have no experience of the divine? How can you love someone whom you don't know? So there must be some glimpse of knowledge. Now I'm not severe so nowadays as I was before, so I can think that maybe that is unknown. They do not know whom they know, but they feel it. That very feeling of love, yes, it tells me that they had some experience of the divine. if they are not faking it. If they are faking it, it's another matter. Many people think that by exaltation of this vital feeling, they may get into some connection with the divine. And I think they are totally off the path. They're going in the wrong direction because they are led by this egoistic self-exaggerated feelings and emotions. We can see this on TV in every country, especially in US, when they propagate Christianity. It's very obvious, how much they try to be loved and to love Jesus, to the extent that it becomes shameful to watch, because everything is so insincere. So that shows us that there is no knowledge, there is only exaggerated feelings. So this is the idea which I'm kind of trying to develop, that the bhakti must be built on jnana and karma. There must be some self-realization, realization of the divine before you can love the divine. And it should not be so aggressive and so self-asserting love, self-promoting, as it is done in the Western countries. Not only in US, but other countries also. In Norway, these programs are quite popular. Okay, let us look into this chapter. Arjuna Uvacha. Mad anugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma samjnitam yat tvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna said that this word of the highest spiritual secret of existence, paramam guhyam adhyatma samjnitam, of the highest spiritual existence, thou hast spoken out of compassion for me, mad anugrahaya. Yat tvaya uktam, which is spoken by you, vachas, the speech, the word, tena, by this my delusion is dispelled. Mohoyam vigato mama, my bewilderment, my ignorance is gone. So interestingly enough, that 10th chapter which we were referring, where he was showing him where he is present in nature, had such an impact on him. Suddenly he saw the divine everywhere around, not only in some decision making and not only in some future realizations or some past reasons of action, the cause of action, but also everywhere present. So his bewilderment, his ignorance was gone for a moment. Now it's not the end. He will see now the real thing. It will come to it. It's quite noticeable to say this here, though it is not visible immediately. When we read the 11th chapter, we always skip this specific thing what he said, that his ignorance is already gone. He will say it at the end of the Gita also, and also at the end of this chapter. This chapter is the crown. After this, there will be total shift towards understanding. Next shloka. Bhava piyayo hi bhutanam shrutam vistarasho maya tvatah kamalapatraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam. Bhava apyayo hi bhutanam. Bhava beginning, apyayo end. So to say, the birth and passing away, the beginning and the end of bhutanam, of all the beings, Shruta vistarasho maya were heard by me, already understood by me in detail. Maya vistarashah shrutao. Yeah, for those who know Sanskrit, it's quite easy to see. The PPP is heard by me, Maya. Bhava and apyaya dual are heard by me in detail, where you started and where you ended the whole process of your birth and rebirth. Tvatach kamalapatraksha, and or Kamalapatraksha, or the one who has lotus eyes, he calls Krishna like this, from you, Mahatmyam apichavyayam, and also the imperishable greatness of the divine conscious soul. Mahatmyam, the greatness of the soul, also avyayam, imperishable. Oh, I heard from you already. Now he continues, Evam etad yathatha tvam atmanam parameshvara drashtum ichami te rupam aishvaram purushottama. And thus I heard from you, you spoke yourself about yourself, O great, or the Supreme Lord. Yeah. And so it is, as thou hast declared thyself, O Supreme Lord, I desire to see drashtum ichami te rupam, your rupam, aishvaram purushottama, your divine form. Yeah, you're the divine. Yeah, hi, hello, Juliet is with us. O Purushottama. So we are beginning the 11th chapter of the Vishvarupa Darshana. So, as you said yourself about yourself, O Supreme Lord, I want to see now your form, O Purushottama. Now, Sri Aurobindo speaks on Purushottama and has very interesting explanation who is Purushottama. It's not Purusha. It's not Purusha who is transcendental, unborn self. It is some supreme self. Self which is beyond the transcendental. That very self which we can't understand because it is beyond its being and non-being. It is not even, it is free from his own existence. If we can imagine that. To be free from one's own existence and to be free from one's own non-existence. This is even more bewildering. He is not, and he is not. And so he is neither existent nor non-existent. He is real. He is beyond every possible comprehension of being and consciousness. And that is Purushottama. And because the concept of Purushottama is possible, because he is what he is, beyond name and beyond form and beyond consciousness, beyond infinite qualities and absence of qualities, the transcendental and this world can coexist as one. He is the reason to hold both. He is beyond transcendental and beyond this world. So because of him, this world can be and be not, can be eternal and be in time and space because of him. Otherwise, it would not be possible to maintain transcendental in this world. So this is a very profound knowledge, which I think even in India is not understood really, truly. Many times I had discussions with many knowledgeable philosophers, and they really do not see this point. But in Sri Aurobindo Essays on the Gita, you can read about Purushottama. It is the crown of his essays on the Gita, the chapter on Purushottama. And he says that because of Purushottama, the individual soul is possible. The individual psychic being is becoming possible because of this Purushottama behind it. It is that Adhyajna which is seated in the heart of every man. The father of all our souls is there present. Yeah? The supreme person, which is beyond being and non-being, is present here within our soul. I think it is much too much to say, but this is the very secret knowledge of Purushottama, the supreme Purusha. Manyase yadi tat shakyam, and I think if it is possible, maya drashtum iti prabho, to see by me, or the Lord, Yogeshvara, or Yogeshvara, master of yoga, or the Lord of yoga, tato me tvam darshayat manam avyayam. Therefore, you should show me yourself imperishable. This is his request. Show me yourself. Don't hide behind the form of Krishna. He wants to see the Vishvarupa Darshana, the vision of the universal Godhead. Interestingly, that he prepared him with this Vibhuti yoga, with manifestations of the divine in nature. Now he wants to see the very self of the divine. He doesn't want to see only manifestations in nature. He wants to see the very essence, yeah? The being behind it. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Pashyame, see my upartha, rupani, my forms, shashva, shatashach, atha, sahasrashach, 1,000 and 100 folds, 100 folds and 1,000 folds rupa, so forms, see my. Nana vidhani divyani, with many various kind, divine, nanavarna kriti nicha, and with many different forms and colors. And this is quite interesting. Nanavarna kriti nicha, in different forms and colors, various in shape and hue. This variation in hue reminds me of that Mother says that of a mind from which Krishna comes is of many colors. It is like rainbow colors. All colors are there, yeah, mixed up. You can see here green, there red, there gold, all kinds of colors, of many shapes and hues. Here he tells this, quite interesting. Krishna himself says, Pashya dityan vasun rudran ashvinau marutas bahuni bahunyadrishta purvani pashyashcharyani bharata. Ashcharyani. It's all with sandhis, so if we split it, bahuni adrishta purvani pashya ashcharyani bharata. So see my adityas, the faculties of the Divine Mother, the adityas, vasus, all the vasus, rudras, all the rudras, ashvinau, ashvins, marutas tatha, and maruts, bahuni adrishta purvani, and many not seen before, pashya ashcharyani bharata, see these miraculous forms of Bharata. Behold many wonders that none has beheld, O Bharata. Now, these are all Vedic gods, as you know. So they will be representing the Purushottama. They will be representing the divine. Quite interesting that he mentions them here one by one. Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashvinas, Vashvinau, Marutah, and other miraculous forms.
What does it mean when he says, behold, use the word behold?
See, Pashya. Behold means see.
In English also?
Yeah. Behold means, how would we translate behold, Lynn? Yeah, your microphone. We can't hear. You can unmute your microphone. Yeah, I unmuted. Wait. No, I can't unmute. Can you unmute your microphone?
There I am. Well, if in the United States we have so many people that cite the Bible, so we just know this, but it's almost as it's the imperative of see.
Yeah.
Okay, you must see.
Behold what.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
So
son,
it's very
behold.
strong. So it's a strong. It's a command.
Command. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And now another use of that word beholden. Again, it's a little bit archaic, but when you are beholden to someone, you are obligated. So it has this connection of this that it's not just that you were seeing it, that you must of command.
Correct. You will be held by this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be held, literally. Be held, yeah, by it. So be taken by it. Be totally possessed by this vision, yeah, so to say. Interesting, yeah. Why behold and to see is the same. In Sanskrit, it's pashya, simply command, yeah, see. Behold is more like something additional. Yeah? See and become it. Yeah? See and allow it to come in. It's like in Avatar, I see you. Yes, that see. I see you means I already have a contact with you. Okay, here it is. Ihai iha ekastham. Ihai kastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanyad drashtum ichasi. Iha, here, ekastham jagat, the whole world in one place. Pashya, see, adya, today, sacharacharam, with all moving in it and all immobile things. Mama dehe, in my body, Gudakesha, or Arjuna, yachanyadrashtumichasi, what else would you like to see? Or whatever else you like to see. So everything is within his body. Within the body of Krishna. Now he will show his universal body. The whole world, here today, behold the whole world with all that is moving and unmoving, unified in my body, O Gudakesha, and whatever else you willest to see.
He's saying kind of that if it is something more to see, it is here in addition, unmoving and moving.
Yeah, and whatever else you want to see will be there. Yeah? He will not tell you everything in the word. He will tell you everything which is moving and unmoving. The whole world is here, but whatever you want to see in it is there for you to see. So it's like, and not only what he shows you, but whatever you want to understand from it, you may concentrate and get meaning out of it. Yeah? You can pervade into that vision, most probably. You can see what you are interested to see, not what I will show you and that you will have only. I'm showing you the vision which allows you to see the details you choose to see from. Yeah, makes sense? Quite interesting, yeah? Some additional meaning to it. That it's not what I thought first, whatever else would you like to see. It's not like this. Whatever you want to see, you will see. Yeah? So it's his choice. He can choose, though everything will be visible to him. Everything will be spelled out. He may take anything and see. This is a big thing. Yeah?
Does it mean that this is in the now, so to say, the creation is spontaneous here and now, whatever is imagined by the nature of our possibility in the faculty of seeing together with the mind, with the influence from all the senses?
Yeah, well, Sri Aurobindo speaks about Trikala Drishti here. He will be seeing all the times, yeah, from the beginning to the end, and all the things and all the events. You can imagine what would you like to see from that running, from the beginning of time. Just choose and you will see.
Everything is there already, of course.
Yeah.
You can't think anything which is not there already.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
well, I think, and of course, many of us were brought up in an environment where it was like many years ago, there might be one movie theater and it shows one movie.
Right.
Okay, and the spiritual messages we were given were like that, and now it's like what we call YouTube or Netflix. Billions of things you want to see.
Yeah, you can choose. Yeah, so like from Netflix or from like YouTube, you just type your name and see. It's all there. Yeah, only it's on a much bigger scale and much more real in a way. But it's a very good example of choosing. He will show the Vishvarupa Darshana, and from there you may see whatever you wish. He will allow him to enter into this vision. No?
But it's a kind of, how to say, for us, this knowledge is very enlightening when it comes to understanding ourselves more as instrumentation rather than creation. If you know, whatever thought I have, whatever I see in whatever world I'm able to, of the consciousness world, I can enter. Whatever is there isn't mine. It's already made.
You can know everything and belonging to everyone. Can you imagine that? It's too much to imagine, yeah, such a thing.
Yeah, in a way, potential is great, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's something in it which is kind of touching me, and that is this, put it into words, is this is the human being as the focal point of something which you call out for something within yourself and you get an answer. Whatever you call for, as he says, whatever you question, you will get an answer. But here with the Krishna, that answer will be of a very high kind if Krishna intervenes and give him more than he he is able to, with his ordinary mind, he stretches into the higher mind with Krishna, with the Lord there, giving him so much more.
Yeah, it's much more than higher mind or any mind can perceive. And Krishna later will say that he gave him this divya drishti, this divine vision, which not available neither to the gods, nor to rishis, nor to anyone. He will see something which those gods and rishis are all the time wanting to see. They are all the time longing for this vision. But none of them has this divya drishti, this divine vision sight.
Then the word Krishna is the innermost soul, no?
Purushottama. Yeah,
Innermost, the innermost. If we trace ourselves back, we come to Purushottama. But he is the link to the innermost.
he is the
Or is he we can't say that he is, yeah, but of course he is the innermost, but we see him here as the link to the innermost.
yeah, he is Krishna embodied. Yes, he is the link to that divine which is innermost and outermost, and much more than both innermost and outermost, because it is free from either. It is something which exists by itself without being and non-being, free from both. And
Can you really see then, if he is beyond everything, is there still a sight there?
yeah, you will see universal form, Vishwarupa Darshana. You will not see him as the Purushottama, but you see him as the presence within the manifestation. You will see his universal, transcendental universal form.
So it's a limitation to the seeing possible, because there is no faculties in beyond.
Correct. Yes, it is a limited vision in accordance to the highest, yes. But it is the divine. Most probably, I think that this is some kind of supramental vision, in which you see everything as the true, so to say, representative of its own divine power. Every bit and piece, every manifestation here finds its true form there. And from there you could see who is who and what is what in the divine view. That is the most we can see. We can't see more than that. So I'm not totally sure about seeing and hearing. I think these are the faculties not only of consciousness, which we know as consciousness. These are also the faculties of the transcendental consciousness, of some kind of self-perception, or where the consciousness is not active, when it is free from ripples or free from kshobha of the movement, then it becomes like the mirror, pure mirror, which is reflecting himself to himself. So in that case, of course, there is still seeing and hearing and understanding oneself, but they are not revealed, they are not manifested in pure sense as we know them here.
But then we get the picture which we sometimes see, mirror after mirror after mirror after mirror after mirror, in infinite.
Well, this is how our mind can understand this, But there is no mind there, so we do not know how he sees himself, Maybe not like that, maybe.
Because if he mirrors himself as a mirror, mirror, a mirror, we will see mirrors in both directions.
Correct. And that is how consciousness works and manifest multiplicity, because consciousness is taking one aspect of the being and presenting it as the whole being. From here we have the self in manifestation and multiplicity. But for himself, where there is no other mirror, it's what you said, mirror within the mirror. It's like consciousness reflecting upon its own reflection. So consciousness upon consciousness, so to say. And where is the being then? Consciousness has to reflect the being, not the consciousness. Now here we have this bewilderment of consciousness. But within the being, it's something else. When being looks at itself and sees itself, so to say, then the consciousness is something else, like pure mirror without any ripple on it, without
But
any...
what if I am the being?
Yeah,
In
you are the
between.
being. And
I am the being in the consciousness.
you're the ripple of consciousness, and you're the being which is without ripple. But that ripple of consciousness created you as a separate being. You see yourself as separate being now, and you evolve and develop yourself as separate being because of that ripple in consciousness. Yeah,
So when Krishna holds up the mirror for Arjuna, he sees what he has experienced, so to say, or can he? But if he realizes himself, he becomes the being between the mirrors and can see in every direction, like these four heads we have in the Indian tradition, seeing in all directions.
Yeah, the consciousness creates space and time. It is definitely that. By projecting different aspects of the infinite one being, and this projection becomes multiplicity, and that multiplicity is sustained in time and space. There is no other way for multiplicity to act and to sustain itself other than in time and space. So here we have this kind of consciousness creates time and space for manifestation of aspects of the infinite being. But notice, he is free from being and he is free from non-being. So he is neither being nor non-being. He is neither nor. So
yeah, it stops in my thinking. But what I can see then is that if I am becoming enlightened, like Arjuna becomes here, he understands more of the world, and it brings more light to his mind. He enlightens more of the possibility of seeing himself through the mirror of Krishna, which is there, present with absolute everything you can see. He invites Arjuna to see what is possible to see for Arjuna according to his development of his psychic. Because I think, as I understand, you see from the soul? No, you can only see from the psychic, because the soul is the basis. The psychic is the front with the faculties, as I understand.
no, faculties are coming from the universal Purusha, from the unborn self, by the way, and they recreate here the psychic. Psychic operates through the conscious, the faculties, but the faculties belong to the universal Purusha, not to the individual. So these are the instruments of the universal Purusha, which psychic appropriates and makes again the properties of the universal Purusha in time. Yeah. So psychic individual has to take these universal faculties which are lost here and bring them back to the universal Purusha. That's his purpose.
And that's why I don't see it, because we are bringing them back. That's what I can see now. We are bringing them back.
Yeah, back in terms of their origin, not back in terms of time. It will be, in terms of time, it will be forward, but in terms of cause, they have to come back to the origin. So what is interesting here, Divyam, what he says, Natumam shakyase drashtum, you cannot see me, anena iva svachakshusha, by your own eyes. Yeah, you cannot see me by your own sight. Divyam dadami te chakshuh, I give you the divine vision. Pashyame yogam aishvaram, see my how to say, divine yoga, Aishwaram, my Lord, the yoga of the Lord, of the Master. Now he will be showing him yoga. It's quite interesting. He will show him what is happening in the world, what is, how the world is manifesting him, what is his plan. It's like Trikala Drishti. He will see the whole process of divine manifestation. Through the events he knows. He will see the events he knows also, and he will understand them differently now.
So he shifts the point of seeing from his limited ego perception to the inner perception,
Yeah,
which
to the divine vision.
to the divine vision.
How the divine sees the world. He gives him his vision, how he sees the world. He shares with him his own perception of the world, which is very unique. That's why all the gods and all the rishis, they, as he will say later, want to see it, but they are not given this. They are not given this gift, only Arjuna. Arjuna alone is given this gift, to see as the divine sees the world.
How is that possible?
It's the grace. It's a kind of, the divine may choose the one to whom with whom he can share his vision. Why not? It's something supremely unique. You cannot see the world with the divine eyes, with the eyes of Purushottama. It's nearly impossible. We think it is some kind of ordinary vision or kind of spiritual vision, maybe extraordinary spiritual vision, but it's a supramental vision, as it were, where you see the whole world being generated, all the events make sense, they're all connected in the divine development of consciousness, or adventure of consciousness. They're all moving towards higher consciousness. You can see everything and understand in terms of the divine manifestation, not in terms of events of human beings. And you do not have guts, you do not have strength actually to do it. Most probably that's why he doesn't give this vision to anybody, because it will simply destroy them. Yeah?
So what would happen to the gods if they could see like this?
And they won't. Most probably one day they will all see it when the manifestation will take place. We will all have this vision. We will see the world totally differently.
Yeah. I'm thinking of an adaptation that was made by an American author into a novel a few years ago. It was called The Legend of Bagger Vance, which was a very loose alliteration of Bhagavad Gita. But in this version, and I'm saying this because Siv and Vladimir visited South Carolina, and this novel was set during the 1930s, the Depression years, and there was a golf course in this town on the coast, and they were desperate, and they thought perhaps we could hold an invitational golf tournament, and it would turn it around. And so they approached Juna, who was a warrior. He was very dispirited from his experience on the battlefields of World War I in France. And so he was very much the picture of Arjuna. Mm-hmm. So in this novel, the Arjuna is asked to take up arms, that is, go to battle with his golf club. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of a thunderstorm, a mysterious dark-skinned man, played by a famous American actor, comes out of the storm and starts talking to him about all these things that Krishna says. And they have that vision and put it in terms of how this athlete can get in what they call the field and get to that supreme level of playing his golf game. And then in the vision, when it is given to him, then yes, it takes him out of the ego of his troubles and his concerns, and that he. But he is the gifted one who only he really could take that vision, because only he has seen those other things that no one else there had seen. He had seen the war. He had this supreme gift with golf, and then it's applied. Then of course, because this is a novel, he goes on and plays the golf match and wins. But at any rate, I'm just sharing that as one example of how someone took this great story in a different context. But in that story, the author used the word field to talk about that way that everything in the universe comes together in a moment, and when one sets one's ego aside and goes to battle.
Yeah, it's a great chapter. We also thank you for sharing this. We will take it next time from here, from Sanjaya Vacha, because now it starts. But few words about again Arjuna, why he was given. Siv was asking why Arjuna then was given this divya drishti, the divine vision. Sri Krishna prepared Arjuna for many. He says that among Pandavas, he is Arjuna. You remember, among different vibhutis, he compares him. Among Vedas, he is Samaveda. Among letters, he is A-letter, and so on. And among Pandavas, he is Arjuna. So he prepared himself a vehicle. He was working on him. And not only in this manifestation, in this reincarnation, he prepared him for many reincarnations to be able to get his vision, to see with the divine eyes the world, because others are not prepared. And if even they can see, as Arjuna could, that would not help the manifestation. It would only bewilder it. It will make it more difficult. Because having knowledge of this kind demands some kind of ability and capacity, purity in the soul, to be able to hold on to it and not to abuse it, misuse it, to become an obstacle, to become a... So I'm not sure what will happen to all of us if we would have that vision. I'm not sure.
Arjuna was said to be the highest. He was living according to the highest ideal of his time.
Yeah.
If this world we live in is a mirror of that world, if you come to the highest ideal of your time, you are kind of prepared. If that highest ideal is in attitude true and not some pretense.
Yeah.
You believe in this. It's a true belief. You really believe in this highest ideal of your time.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and that is also, if we go higher, that is also there. We have to believe. We have to have faith, and so I'm thinking about, as you say, the mirror effect. I don't think it means that Arjuna didn't have negative thoughts and everything as everybody else, but he took the stand of the highest ideal of his time.
He was prepared by Krishna. There were beings, warriors, which were even higher than Arjuna. For example, Karna. And Krishna speaks to him and tells him that you cannot fight Karna. Karna is like the sun. Karna was born immortal even. There are higher beings, but for this developmental stage of humanity, Krishna chose Arjuna as his vehicle. He works with him. Arjuna is representative of all humanities, striving of all humanities' aspirations and capacities and everything. So he has to give him and not to Karna or to some other Bhishma. Bhishma was God himself. He could fit into that very well, but he was fighting on the wrong side. So you can see that there were great beings, but he chose Arjuna for his work. This choosing someone for his work is the divine preference, the divine grace. It makes you the highest possible change in humanity. You represent the fundamental shift in humanity's consciousness. You must be representative of the humanity. You should not be the best, which is far beyond human capacity. You should be close to humans, somewhere in the middle, and you have to be chosen and do this shift. This is the work of Krishna. So saying that he is totally the highest of his kind among humanity in that moment of time, yes, but not even among his friends and warriors around him, not the highest. So in this case, we can think how divine works. Why he chooses Arjuna for this work. Yes.
So you say he is the highest in a general term. In
In general.
Humanity, he is the highest of the average.
Yeah, he has to represent average. He must do it for this shift which is to take place. These are the thoughts which I get from reading Mahabharata and from all those other connections and happenings and battles which are following Gita.
So in English idiom, we would say, in a certain sense, in spite of his gifts and position as a general, he is still every man. He's not the highest one. That the message is that this actually, anyone potentially could be chosen by Krishna.
Correct. And when Arjuna wants to go, he says, if you go, I will do my work anyhow, yeah? But you will lose the opportunity. So if he would be the highest and nobody else could do the work, it would be true, yeah? But it is not that highest. Krishna worked on him. He prepared his consciousness for this divine drishti. He can do it. And he represents the humanity and shift which he wants to establish.
So the preparation of him is something actually not in front of Arjuna. It is in his inner being.
Exactly. That's why he said, among Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Krishna says to him, I am Arjuna, I am you among Pandavas. So I prepared you, I worked on you. Okay, we have to stop because I have another assignment. Yeah, I'm glad that we have these discussions. This is avatarhood. We will have to come next time and discuss how avatar is manifested.
I hope it's okay, Lynn, that I ask all these questions.
Yes, very nice.
Oh, I love it. It's really great. It enriches the class. I mean, I could sit at home and read a book, but, this is great.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, see you next time.
Om sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om.